legislature and who is now our tremendous representative in the 1st District, Representative Chellie Pingree.
Thank you very much. Thank you to the broad coalition that brought this bus here and organized all of us here today, to all of my colleagues and supporters standing behind me who are going to speak about a whole variety of issues that talk about the issues that we're facing because of climate change, and to Michael for welcoming us all here to the city of Portland. It's just great to see the activities that are going on here in Portland to deal with some of our environmental issues, and you can see by the number of visitors who are here this time of year, or the number of people who want to live here and raise their families, what a wonderful city and region this is, and I feel very fortunate to represent this part of the state and to be a part of the state of Maine. Mike and I the other Mike, Congressman Michoud and I, who have the great pleasure of representing the entire state of Maine together, just got out of Washington about a week ago. And I have to say, we couldn't get out of there fast enough. Some of my colleagues, I'm lucky enough to sit on the Agriculture Appropriations Committee and the Interior Appropriations Committee. And in our last week, some of the climate change deniers and the people who don't believe that there are issues that we should worry about here or that we should take better care of our environment proposed a budget in the Interior Committee that cut the EPA, and we're lucky to have Kurt Spalding here with us today, cut them by 30%. That had, I think, 29 or 30 riders on there that took on everything from allowing more coal polluters to pollute, more people to pollute our groundwater, less attention to the details around making sure that we dealt with the carbon issues. They just slashed and burned and cut everything and said, you know, what weather issues, what climate change? That really doesn't exist. So I think it was time for all of us to go home and have a little sit down and think about it. So I couldn't be happier to be back here in the state of Maine, where people really have been pioneering and taking care of these issues for a long time, and where across the state, Republicans, Democrats, Independents alike, people really care about this issue and are deeply concerned. I know we're going to hear more details from some of our friends behind me, from the medical field, from the fishing industry, but I hear about it all the time. I represent a lot of coastal communities. I talk to a lot of fishermen, and I've seen in the last year the fear in their eyes, the real concern about what's actually going on with ocean water temperatures going up, with sea level rising, with ocean acidification. You know, this isn't something we're just talking about theoretically anymore. This is real. Green crabs are thriving at the water temperatures threatening our lobster industry. Maybe you just read that story about the shell disease and some of the challenges it's proposed further down the coast, and now people worried about that hitting our lobster industry here. This is a tremendously important industry to our state, to our coastal communities, to our economics of the state. Lobsters started shedding last year, earlier than anyone had ever seen before, and it creates a huge problem in the industry. In our farms and forests, invasive fluke flies showed up 2 years ago. Real concern they're going to do damage to our blueberry crop. The invasive beetle has been showing up and killing trees. Winter moths that we've had in Vinyl Haven, right next to my hometown. I mean, people have story after story of what's starting to happen. You just can't close your eyes anymore and pretend it's not going on. And here we are in the state of Maine, where we have the opportunity to do the opposite. And our state legislature has been fighting for this issue for a long time, because we have the opportunity to have good-paying jobs right here in the state of Maine. We've already seen the development of wind and tidal power. Wind power has already created 1,800 good-paying jobs here in Maine, with total investment in alternative power close to $1 billion. We're becoming a leader in tidal energy. There are prototype projects going on in Eastport and along the state. And energy efficiency. We can do so much more to invest more in making our older buildings energy efficient. Mayor talked about buying more local food, sustaining our agriculture system, which is just an enormous movement here in Maine. We're one of the few states where the average age of the farmer is going down. The amount of farms under cultivation is going up. And as you know, we often come down here and see the farmers market and the number of people lining up because they want to buy healthy, locally grown food. We know what to do differently here. That isn't so hard. It can be changed, and I'm so grateful for all the people who are here fighting for this today, for all of you who are willing to come here and stand up and talk about this issue. It is, time is long past that we need to be fighting for this. I'm very proud to be down there working on it in Washington, but even happier to be back here in Maine, where people understand how important this issue is, what a huge impact it could have on our livelihoods, and why we have to do something now, not tomorrow. So I'm very pleased to introduce the next speaker today, Mike Michoud, who represents the other half of the state of Maine. We're thrilled to have him visiting down here in Portland, and thrilled for whatever his future will bring.